Oh, hey Internet. Welcome back to the channel. Part 3, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, Curse of the Stuttering, Curse of the Confusion of calling it Castlevania. We're back on the boat. God damn it, we're on a boat. Stage 5, Sunder the Night. Not Curse the Night or anything like that. You know, you can tell there's some certain phrases that these type of games, you know, like maybe these gothic, you know, vampire killing platformers, as it were, they do sort of have their keywords, don't they? Nevertheless, kind of a long-ish video for us today. Which leads me to believe, I think, when we first spoke about splitting up the levels into their own videos, I'm starting to feel like that maybe that was a good idea, or maybe it is going to be a good idea as we kind of tackle the last half of the game, and it's starting to provide somewhat of a challenge. I think we were kind of steamrolling it prior. Now that we're coming towards the last bit, maybe we should probably watch our step nowadays, I think, especially now that we're leaping over so many pitfalls here, attacking these sort of, you know, treasure chest monsters. Well, I mean, that certainly looks like something for our vampire, but do we trust ourselves? I mean, we got 20 out of 40. Can we do it? Oh, are we gonna go up? Jesus. Well, we may have fucked that. Oh shit. Yeah, we certainly fucked it. We don't want to go up there. It's not as far as we thought. Should we go for it? We certainly can dash. Well, you know, it's not that we've had the best luck of doing so. 9 points, would that be enough to get us over? If we feel confident in our maneuverability? Oh yeah, plenty of time. And heck, 3 more points to get through there. Can we do it? I mean, we were kind of at 0 midway through walls, so maybe we should have died there, but... So, I don't know how we're going to get back. But here we are. Found a cool little cubbyhole of a secret. Just got to kill this wretched bastard. Kind of an interesting little exploit here where you can kind of just hide behind him. Hey, 15 points. And you have to think, at this point, where you have to kind of fly down there and get that one up. Even if we die, I think it's worth it. So, picking up even the little mana pickup. Hey, by the skin of our teeth, by the hair of our nethers, we pulled it off. But as I was saying, I think even if we were to perish there, it's, I think, still a good move to make. You know, where we're at 4 characters, each with their own sort of death before we actually lose a life. You know, it's kind of like we're making up 3 lives. So even if we're at the expense of maybe using the vampire in later on the stage, where it certainly could be beneficial or maybe needed to unlock another, you know, cool little upgrade or something. And hey, how about that as well? Who needs it? I guess Miriam, I suppose. And I believe this is the first stage, really, that you can tell that the enemies have a considerable amount of more HP, where they may take 2 or 1, 2, 3 more hits to make them die. Part of the challenge, I'm sure, of these later stages, picking up another 1-up from our points. It looks like we reached 80,000 pointaroos, up to 10 lives, which for those with basic math skills, 40 character deaths. So far so good, I would say, at least when it comes to looking to beat the game. you know, heaven forbid if we have to beat this game with one character, but it's possible, I guess, now. Fucking... I think the idea is you want to use Gebel to kind of use his bats to fly up and fuck it up, but, well, that was a good way of not just fucking up our weapon gauge, but not doing any damn damage either. But yeah, using him to kind of use an arcing attack with his basta, kill the painting, but one hit, one kill. You gotta be pretty careful of that painting. Maybe killing it ASAP is probably the way you want to do it. But thankfully, it looks like there's this sort of checkpoint right before it with the red gates here, so... Really no harm in losing the vampire either. We kind of maybe got a little too lucky, or maybe game a little too generous. Well, fuck. That was an abysmal attempt at anything. Well, there goes the old man. So far, so good. Maybe freezing the painting as it got down low, and then switching a character to really hammer in some damage may have been the strategy. But whatever the fuck that was probably closer to a botch than anything. And we do have those sort of high diagonal daggers on our weapon, which is exactly what we're using here. Certainly don't have a lot of them, and as in a lot of them, not anymore. Just that one hit. Oddly enough, well, hey, that worked. I would say oddly enough, as we're taking like sort of damage in the corner, it wasn't part of its sort of attack animation of like one hit killing us. So we were able to, despite the fact of sitting on top of it, deal damage and kill it before it killed us in some weird way. But now we're kind of at Zenketsu, Miriam, who's near death herself, missing the hey, picked up something there, maybe just a pickup of some variety. But yeah, we'll have to return to this level with Gebel where he's needed to kind of fly through that little hole there. And introduced to sort of wind physics here, as it's kind of pushing our character to the right here. Seems like every Nintendo game had this sort of level in it eventually. And adding in the totally not Medusa heads is an evil touch. And up there probably was something nice as well. Maybe Miriam could have reached it. Certainly the bat. Certainly the vampire, rather, if we had him. Well, okay. So, I mean, we got it. You know, we got the one up, which is, I think, you know, it's still a positive, but yeah, the wind took us completely off the stage, and which is a shame, because we had built her hit points up somewhat reasonably, that she was in a glass cannon of sorts, but there it is. As we predicted, Zangetsu solo, an odd little secret there to kind of skip a little melee, I guess. I guess when we're looking back at it now, it would have just skipped part of that level, so we don't necessarily have to return. You can see that on that left wall back there was the little hole there. And Zenketsu's sort of double damage can handle these teeth monsters just fine. Provided we don't... Jesus, that was close. I was saying, provided we're not knocked into some hole somewhere. Which we almost were. That was kind of crazy how we were able to jump and kind of luckily, I wouldn't say it was timed properly. But here we are. We have an HP upgrade that we really want. And I think we're going to do like we did in the previous video where kind of wish for death. There it is. So, I mean, it's our final character. I mean, were we going to die sometime during the stage anyway? Maybe, maybe not. Probably at the boss. Probably at a, you know, at a later checkpoint, you know. So maybe we concede the fact that, like, fuck, we really wanted this. We really want this. We don't want to, like, leave the level, go too far in the level without it. And we kind of need, you know, Sir Dracula. Also, we need some mana to reach it. So, as much as we'd like to use this purple fire, maybe we should kind of be on the... maybe not use so much of it. However, it is tempting. Nah. Nah, nah, nah. Get out of here. There we go. Yep. I think that's the strategy, just getting the fuck out of there, you know? So, we got 5, hoping there's possibly more than 5 here and that. There we go. 10 should do it. However, maybe using the double damage immediately is a bad idea. Oh, fuck. Oh. Doesn't that just burn your fucking biscuits, right? Taking some knockback damage and getting knocked through the door. I mean, that sort of strategy of hiding behind the serpent-like monster totally backfires. So what do? I mean, do we flush a whole life down the toilet to attempt to get it, hoping that it doesn't, you know, hoping that green door isn't the last checkpoint? I mean, with double-digit lives, you know, you might as well check, I suppose. It's worth looking. I think our lives, or our adventure in this game, rather, is going to be a lot easier with a little bit of hit points on everyone. Pretty nice jump there, though. Alright, so here's hoping beyond hope, right? Yeah, take the life. Yeah, and our nightmares have become reality, right? Yeah, pretty shitty. Pretty shitty if I have to say so myself. Some bad luck. You know, overall, enormous waste of time. You know, we had killed, you know, we flushed a life down the toilet previously when we had, you know, one character and we needed the vampire to go up there. Had gotten the vampire and then got, you know, knocked through the door prematurely, I suppose is the right word to say it. So overall, pretty dismal. Picked up the lightning attack here for Old Man Withers, which I believe might be the first time we get to use it. Not the last, and it's certainly a pretty great special attack from him. You know, I would say most, I wouldn't say all of his stuff, but most of his stuff is pretty great. You know, he does have a couple attacks, or at least I would say his sort of hollow attack, you know, where he has that sort of clone that kind of pops in front of him, I would say is kind of a bit more situational than his other attacks. Alright, so we're going against Storm Eagle here. So we have to worry about the rain and wind physics. Luckily, a lot of his weapons look like they're breakable. And there's the lightning attack on its first maiden voyage. Kind of certainly homing, but it does overreach, I guess is the word, where it shoots, then has to re-aim, and then shoots again. But certainly does damage to to characters and bosses that you otherwise can't reach. So it's certainly, if we can hold on to that spell, it's going to become quite the ace in the hole. Provided that we have the weapon energy to use it, which it looks like we're kind of a little low on. But we're able to get some hits on, maybe, what, 7 or 8 hits? Hey, easy enough, if that was not just the death sound of this boss. Switching to Miriam, because it looks like she has a decent amount of hit points. Oh. Yeah, maybe not getting electrified there at the end would do best for us. All right, and scored enough points to pick up the life we threw in the fucking trash like an idiot. Stage 6, Tragedy of Slaughter. We're getting there. We're getting there. Oh yeah, and introducing these sort of cartwheeling devil heads. Those guys are a pain in the ass. And certainly, like Castlevania, when an enemy shows up on screen, it's probably best that you kind of take your time and kill it before you try to advance any further in the level, because you're just causing more difficulty. Just like, yeah, take one thing at a time, kill it, continue on, that sort of thing. No secrets, no hidden items. However, good thing we have Miriam around. It looks like there's a couple things that we want. Looks like maybe that's an attack up, you think? Alright, you would think now everyone's stronger. Old Man Withers has his lantern up there. Who knows what's inside of it? That's kind of what we have already. Yeah, that is what we have. Okay, good. And then we can get the vampire to go up there. So overall, pretty good. But, I mean, it is the beginning of the level. You'd imagine you'd have everyone, so. But certainly good to have the attack up, if that's what it was. It certainly seems like, with the flashing gauntlet, that, at this stage of the game where these enemies are taking maybe an extra hit to kill, we certainly need that extra help. Nothing hidden in the wall. Yeah, maybe not the best use of our lightning attack there, but looking to kind of cheap them out some way. And that seems to be the method of which we're doing it. Just kind of skipping part of the level there, provided we don't get hit with the axe on our feet. But kind of. And here's an interesting puzzle. I was not able to figure out what they wanted. You can tell over this gap there's a wooden barrier there that's kind of like held together by band-aids. So you're obviously sort of told to break it, not with the bat, however. I mean, lightning doesn't trigger it. Our whip could possibly reach. Nothing our Zenketsu has would reach. I mean, we have that big nasty axe with Miriam, but we wouldn't necessarily have any room to use it. I mean, on second thought now, if we had maybe that clone ability I was just moaning and groaning about with the old man, maybe he would the hologram could stand across the gap and punch the thing down. As we luckily get knocked back into the one up there. There's at least one knockback that kind of played to our advantage. You know, that could work, although, you know, his sort of weird little lollipop attack with his little staff seems to be kind of a little bizarre to be the one that breaks down, you know, that sort of barrier. Although nothing really seems like it, you know, otherwise would, you know. You'd think something with some power and range would, you know, maybe because it's a magical attack, but yeah, and at 0 weapon strength, this is getting a little weird. Probably shouldn't use Miriam where she's so little health, but maybe some turkey? Nope. World's worst jump right there, or complete lack of one. Interesting little look here is that we missed a whole ton of this, so I guess so. Bye, you know. Hopefully nothing particularly important there. Little skeletal dude saying that we should go through the lava, which may have some may prove to be a little difficult, but maybe he just means this general direction as well, with Miriam sliding through. Yeah, what a fuck all this is. And this is what I meant kind of previously, like if we could somehow like aggro the little demon head guy before without dealing with these knights, we certainly want to, because now it's may not have dealt what the fuck may not have dealt all the damage, but you know, he would have been easier to deal with. And that sort of stair blunder, you know, what the fuck just happened there? I suppose we reached the top of the platform. Instead of hitting maybe like down diagonal, we just hit you know, right on our controller and just fell to our death. Which is even more depressing because when you look at that one up back there, you need Gabelle to get it. You know, so you know, these last 2 levels, we certainly have found, you know, a lot of secrets. Have not been able to really get them. You know, we got the attack up. That seems to be about it. But hey, that's probably what the skeletal dude means. And hell, Jesus Christ, when you look at the big health up in here as well. Old Man Wither showing the utility of his magic ability. Really not needing the vampire at all to get that one up. However, you know, the old man by himself is not going to do very well in that battle. Back to here, however. Old man with the there's the clone. So maybe we can try it out with the clone. Still nothing. It gave us the clone, but not even our holographic lollipop. You know, couldn't break it down. So, you know, that's me totally throwing my hands up and going, who knows? I mean, maybe those whirlwind blades now, when we have them up here. But I couldn't say. Should we try it again, jumping on those axes and... Oh, Jesus. Can't always determine where you're going to get knocked back, I guess, right? However, if it matters, you know, we can certainly use Dracula to fly up top there and climb that top platform and get the one up. Oh, or on second thought, we can just say, no, fuck it. You know, 1-ups being maybe not the most precious item in the game so far. You know, if we had just a couple lives left, you know, sure, let's battle it out. But we're sitting at 11, you know, I think we can pass on 1-up in this game. Maybe they'll give this another 1-up down here as well. Holy shit, they will. So you can kind of you know, find a sort of infinite life loop here. You know, not necessarily get more than one per party death, but you know, there's no way you can game over. You know, as long as you keep using your keep using somebody to get the 1-up down there. And you can see some action up there with the goddamn Iron Maidens, but hoping we can kind of shoot a big freezing arrow up there to kind of activate them all or kill them all or something, but we know they're just waiting to kind of knock us in one of these pits. You can just tell. We could just tell. We knew that was going to happen. A trap older than time. Oh my god. I suppose if it's not one thing, it's the other. Maybe something we should have done a long time ago, but it's not like we have the healthiest party right now either. A little bit of health there. No secret health. Great. More of this shit, right? Sadly, using some of our weapon energy to find a place where, you know, find a dead end. You know, place maybe some other path would have led here. Yeah, and these enemies, what I feel is probably one of the more difficult ones in the game when it comes to just like little random enemies that you know, little chumps you find out throughout the game. Oh. Old Man and Lollipop versus Succubus Demon. I wouldn't have had him pegged to win it, but here we are with two characters with barely any life and barely any weapon strength. So here we go. Suppose that last heart provided a one hit that we quickly flushed down the toilet. One thing to notice when using the vampire, when he knocks one of those like weapon lanterns down, it only becomes more mana potions because he only has that one magical attack of turning into the bat. So if you need, like for example, if you needed the extra mana and you didn't really want an extra weapon, I suppose that's what you do, is you just kind of switch to him. And yeah, so if we're looking at 16, we're like, oh shit, we need more than 16. Switch to him and break it, but a little late there, you know. Oh, Oh. Oh. Mistakes were made. Well, and that was probably a bit more fitting of a death. And as bad as you think we're playing this level, and we just kind of flushed a life down the drain, picked up another one up just by sheer points. And using our sort of ice arrow to kind of skip through that last area we perished on. Big nasty axe. One of my favorites, especially when you're talking about like cornering a final level boss, particularly. We just need more weapon energy to use it. No one to really use that health for, but 13 out of 40. I mean, that's probably a couple attacks with it. And you'd figure with these lanterns up here, no, we're gonna keep the big axe. Oh Jesus Christ! Why don't we? I believe this whole sequence was copyrighted out of Castlevania. Was it Castlevania 1? Wholesale? So it was Castlevania 1 or 3? One of them. The sort of the knights and the Medusa heads with the items as well. I forget which one now, but 16 weapon energy. Everyone seems to be in pretty good health as we take on what appears to be Elizabeth Bathory now in her vampire busty self. Okay, so you can essentially what you want to do is climb up these. Oh, nice fucking hit. There we go. There we go. We want to attack these parasails, these umbrellas, to have them stand still, climb up them, and then deal damage to them. However, we certainly have to watch out for that attack moving forward. And switching to the old man right there, probably not, kind of a huge mistake if you ask me. Not a whole lot of health points to really soak up that damage. Which is a shame. We used, we got some really good whacks on her with our big axe there. And that's unfortunate. As is taking on 1,000 points of damage here. I mean, we made this look easy last time, and now we're kind of struggling along. Getting hit by every Medusa head in the world. Well, we can kind of firmly check Miriam out of this boss fight. Got the double damage on Zankatsu, so maybe that's all we need. Use the vampire to, knock everything into place. Climb the umbrellas with Zankatsu. Hit his double damage. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. So far so good, except for the knockback, I suppose, off the... Do want to be conscious of the rain. I'm sure that's coming any time now. There it is. But a pretty poor play of using our double damage weapon attack. Pretty much at no time where we could actually use it. Alright, we certainly have some characters now that are a little on the weak side that we don't want to use too much. Alright, let's see that the rain attack, that's the killer right there. Hey, that works out. Jesus Christ. Not enough to kill us. And that's all that matters. Stage 7. But of course, we're going to hold off on that until the next video. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff. And come back and watch some more Bloodstained in the future.